Wait, don't go anywhere. We need to discuss something. We need to discuss the possibility that Brentford could qualify for European football. And I don't mean mathematically, I mean realistically. I did not see this coming in a million years. Perhaps you did, and if so, well done. Your prediction game is strong. You're ahead of the curve. But today I've sat down, looked at the fixtures, writing out my little notes for this show, looking at my predictions for the games, looking at the league table, and I thought, hang on a minute. There's a chance here that Brentford could be playing European football next season. We need to discuss it. Welcome to Tartan Geo YouTube channel. Please do subscribe if you're new around here. Trying to hit 3,000 subscribers for the end of the season. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And also do drop a like on the video as well by clicking the thumbs up. You clicking that thumbs up button helps a lot more than you think. So if we could get 200 likes on this video, I would be very happy. And it helps my little channel out. So thank you very much for the support. Now let's get straight into it. We've got 9 fixtures to get through in this Premier League preview. We're going to start with the Saturday lunchtime kickoff as it's Aston Villa against Fulham. And this is a huge game for Villa. I cannot stress that enough. Draws are no longer enough for Villa. 4 games, I think they need 3 wins. They might even need 10 points from those 4 fixtures. It's going to be difficult. Not impossible. It's going to be hard. But they cannot afford to drop points this weekend. Now, I don't think they will, but it's a tricky one. It's been a terrible week for them. I was going to say a bad month because they got knocked out of the Champions League as well. However, it was won with honour. Getting knocked out by PSG, there's no shame in that. And it was a bloody good 2 games as well. It was really close, and they were unlucky to get knocked out against what I consider to be possibly the best team in European football this season. But that game against Man City, that's hard to get over. And I think it's because, in my opinion, it was a direct result of Emery getting a substitution wrong, putting Disasi on, getting skinned by Doku, losing it in stoppage time against Man City, who are rivals for those Champions League spots. I think if you get beat by someone down the bottom of the table, say West Ham, it's tough, but it's not a 6-pointer as such, but losing points to someone you're directly competing with for the same goal, that makes it harder, I think. And then they went to Wembley and got dominated by Crystal Palace. They got absolutely blown away. Glasner done Emery from start to finish. It was just one-way traffic. One of my favourite performances from a team this season by Palace. Superb. But that just puts the pressure on Villa. Sitting in 7th right now, which is Conference League football. There's a chance for Champions League football. Forest have opened the door to overtake them and get into 6th, but Chelsea are there lingering, and you perhaps, well, I still don't buy them, that phrase, I still don't buy Chelsea, although they won last week. So there's a chance for Champions League football for Villa. They don't win this weekend, it's going to be tough to see them getting it. However, Fulham are inconsistent, left it late against Southampton last week. And when I was looking at the fixtures, I thought, hang on a minute, I was feeling Emery or Villa had done Fulham over the last few games head-to-head. So I thought, I'm going to go check out this record between managers. So Emery's came up against Marco Silva 8 times in his career, won 6, drawn 1. So Silva's only ever beaten Emery once. Do I see that changing on Saturday? No. I'm going to go Aston Villa 3, Fulham 1. Moving up to Goodison Park, a team with 1 win in 9, coming up against a team with 1 win in 11. It's not statistics that whets the appetite. Only 2-3 p.m. Saturday kickoffs this weekend. I don't like that. I always hate it when I see that. I don't know why. It just irritates me. Second last ever game at Goodison Park for Everton. And surely that's got to be enough to get them up for it and just, I say, drag them through the game. They're coming up against a weak opponent, Everton. Seen the first half of the game against Chelsea last week. Very scrappy from both teams. And a game that was decided by one bit of quality from Nicholas Jackson. Now, in the second half, Robert Sanchez did make, in my opinion, 2 top saves to keep Chelsea in it. And Everton have surely got too much for this Ipswich side that are going out with a whimper. There's not much fight left in them. I'm going to say 2-1 Everton. Off to Leicester. So Saturday 3 p.m. we've only got 2 games. 3 of the 4 teams involved are relegated. Leicester take on Southampton. I'm sure when the computer did their random fixtures at the start of the season, thought, oh, this will be a 6-pointer, won't it? 4 games to go, Leicester against Southampton. Well, it's a game that literally no one cares about, and I include Leicester and Southampton fans in that one. Leicester, who have lost 11 of 12, coming up against Southampton, who have lost 9 of 11. And in the 3 games between them, where they've not lost, they've only drawn. So between them, they've picked up 3 points in 33 games. 99 points up for grabs, and they've got 3. It's terrible, isn't it? I feel like Leicester are losing all their players. I think they've got quite a lot of players missing. Hermansen's obviously undergone surgery, and you can't help but look at it and think there's a goalkeeper making sure he passes his medical for his new club in the summer. I understand why players will be looking to the summer and thinking, right, what do I need to do here? I'm hoping in this prediction, because how you meant to predict this game? There's nothing to go on. There's nothing. Can you have -2, -1? No, you can't. So I'm going to go wild. I'm going to go 3-2 Southampton. I think Saints, right, they're not going to be the worst team ever. They've equalled Derby's record points total. I think they still need to get another point just so it's not Derby and Southampton. They want to make it just Derby. Keep it as it was. So I think Southampton might have a bit of motivation for this one. They got a point against West Ham 2 weeks ago. Came close to getting a point against Fulham last week. I think they'll get all 3 here. Leicester 2, Southampton 3. Saturday evening kickoff, we've got Arsenal against Bournemouth. One team that probably can't be arsed against one team that looks like it can't be arsed, but they should be. Arsenal, obviously, with that narrow defeat to PSG on Tuesday. What a fantastic game that was, by the way. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to the second leg of that semi-final tie. Well, both games, actually. The Inter Milan-Barca game was fantastic too. I'm really looking forward to the Champions League fixtures this week. Arsenal, Bournemouth actually beat them. Bournemouth won 2-0 back at their place earlier on in the season. And I think it's fair to assume Arteta will heavily rotate this side. You'd imagine Ben White's going to pick up minutes. Ranieri's going to come into the team. I think he will leave out as many first-team players as he can, and he should. He would be stupid to play his starting 11, risk injuries, because let's just say he did. And I think he'll play centre-backs, but let's just say Saliba picks up an injury. Everyone, and quite rightly so, will turn around and say, well, what did you play him for? What have you done that for? I think Arsenal should, in my opinion, Arteta will know what he's doing in Paris. He will know what his 11 is. I'd imagine you have the same back 4. Partey will come back into midfield to play alongside Rice and Odegaard. Mourinho will go up front, and he will possibly take Trossard out of the team. I'd imagine that's what he will do in Paris. So if that's the case, that 11, bench them all. Honestly, if I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't even want to see Raya in goal for this one. Why risk it? There's no point. Bournemouth, though, unlucky to draw against Man U, and even more unlucky because during the week, that red card for Evan Nielsen has been overturned. And it really grates on me, that does, because Bournemouth were winning 1-0. And it's not a wild thing to say that had Evan Nielsen not got sent off, Bournemouth would have went on to win the game. They'd be sitting in 8th place in the league, and they're in the driving seat for 8th, and European football should Man City win the FA Cup. Red card gets handed out. Bournemouth drop 2 points in the last minute to Højlund scoring his 4th goal of the season. It gets overturned. All right, so you've had a referee look at it. Then you've had, to be fair, he gave a yellow card initially, but then you had a different referee look at it and go, oh, go have a look. Then the same referee goes and has a look at it and gives a red card. Then basically, a different referee, the referee's boss, looks at it and goes, nah, not a red card, we're taking that away. I don't like it. This is why VAR ain't working, right? If it was working, we wouldn't have these red cards being overturned post-match. Anyway, I don't know why I'm ranting. I guess it's because when I was watching it at the time, I didn't think it was a red card. And Bournemouth have dropped points. Had they won 1-0, you'd say no harm done, move along. But there was. I think they can win this one, Bournemouth. Evan Nielsen, obviously, is available to play. Kluivert's back. Tavernier's back. Missing Ryan Christie, it's a huge, huge loss. And he's the only player they're missing, I think, in terms of their starting 11. I believe Bournemouth have got 10 of the 11. Just Christie is missing. But he's a big loss. I think they can win, though. I do. It'll be I'm looking at Bournemouth and Brighton and Fulham, and I'm thinking, are you even arsed about the Conference League? Because the impression I'm getting is no. but I'm going to go with my gut on this one. 2-1 Bournemouth. On to Sunday, Brentford take on Man United. Let's discuss Brentford, shall we? So they beat Nottingham Forest. I didn't watch the game. I was watching, I watched the first half hour. Then I watched, during half-time of Man United winning at Bilbao, I watched Nottingham Forest again and seen Wissa scoring to make it 2-0. But they beat Forest, and before that they beat Brighton. So they've only lost to Newcastle in the last 6. So the other 3, Bournemouth, Brighton and Fulham, have all shown inconsistencies, a lack of desire. Brentford have not. 1 loss in 6. They play Man U at home on Sunday, and then they play Ipswich, Fulham and Wolves. Right now, Brentford are 2 points behind Fulham, who are in 8th. Can they get 3 points more than Fulham in the next 4 games? Yes. Can they get more than that compared to Brighton and Bournemouth? Absolutely. I think there's a chance here that Brentford will go on to finish 8th. And if Man City win the FA Cup, Brentford will then qualify for the Conference League next season, which would be incredible. I didn't even realise they were so close. I've just seen the cut-off in the top half of the table. It's naive of me, but in my defence, Bournemouth have picked up 8 points from the last 4 games. Historically, they're one of the first teams on the beach. So coming out of the international break, I didn't give them any hope. I've sat here going, they're on the beach, forget it. Not the case. They want to get on the beach. They want to get on the beaches in Bulgaria next season. I'm very impressed. I am very, very impressed by Brentford's form, their attitude, desire. And I think part of me is almost rooting for them because the other 3 are just chucking away the opportunity week after week. Coming up against the Man U side, and I think that result on Thursday was bad news for Brentford. 1-0 Man U, 2-0 Man U, and you'd see a rotated side, a heavily rotated side. But with 3-0, I'm going to say that fixture's done. And as a result, Amorim, if he wished to, could play a stronger side than he perhaps intended to this weekend. I don't think you'll see the full Man U 11. You might see the likes of Fernandes come out of the team, but he'll be putting in Mason Mount, who, do you know something? I used to think he was a top player. It's obviously not worked out, but he's not a bad player. He can take out Harry Maguire, put in De Ligt, right? There's rotation there for Amorim that's bringing in top players. Amad Diallo's back now. He can play. Federico, the centre-back, he can play. Menu didn't start on Thursday. He can play. So he can make 5 or 6 changes. But the players he's bringing in, 1 or 2 youngsters, Amas might come in for Dorgu. But the rest of them are still experienced. Some of them internationals. Tough game. But I'm going 2-1 Brentford. I think, why not? Why not? 2-1 Brentford. Brighton take on Newcastle. Just because Brighton beat my team, it's not going to change my opinion. West Ham were a few minutes away from winning that game. I don't trust Brighton. Newcastle, however, won 7 of 8. You feel like they had to sort of squeeze it out of Ipswich last week. And then once the red card happened, penalty was given. It was one-way traffic. But I couldn't have been the only one, because obviously I was watching West Ham play. Couldn't have been the only one looking at the score. Probably because I triple captained Isaac, idiot. I'm looking at the score. 40 minutes in, 0-0. I'm thinking, oof, come on. And also, I needed Ipswich to get beat so to confirm the relegation. Life of being a West Ham fan. It's difficult for me to see past a Newcastle win here. I'm going to say Brighton 1, Newcastle 3. Champions League football at St James's Park. West Ham take on Spurs. My team against Spurs. That goal for Bodo Glimt late on might have just changed what Postecoglou could do against West Ham. I expect to see a rotated Tottenham side. We are terrible at the minute. Spurs are terrible at the minute. I'm going to go 3-1 West Ham because there has been elements of the game from West Ham that I have enjoyed. It's just not lots. Half an hour here, half an hour there. And I just think we've dropped so much points late on in games recently. Brighton, we went from 2-1 down to lose 3-2. Liverpool 1-1, lost 2-1. Southampton were 1-0 up, lost 1-0. Everton 1-0 up, drew 1-1. And if we can cut that out, it would be all right. We'd have a lot more points on the board. And I just think maybe Sunday, this fixture we tend to get up for. Tottenham are bigger fish to fry. They're likely to be in a Europa League final against Man U. West Ham do not. 3-1 West Ham. Chelsea against Liverpool. Big game for Chelsea. And it's a difficult one to analyse or predict rather from the Liverpool side of things, because it's job done. So are they going to take their foot off the gas a little bit and ease up and just cruise through to the end of the season? Or are they going to still try to get points on the board and just boost that tally? It's impossible to say, really, isn't it? You'd assume it's the latter, but you'd forgive them if it was the former. With Chelsea, big win on Thursday night. That's them into the Conference League final. Big win last week against Everton in sense of not the performance of the scoreline, but just the sheer importance of getting a result against a side who you'd imagine could be quite tricky to face. An Everton side plus a David Moyes side combined can usually spell danger for some teams in need of a win. But they got through it. Really good goal from Jackson. They need to get Palmer fiving to. I don't know what's happened to him this season, but he's just disappeared, hasn't he? Hard game to call. I'm going to say the problem is I'm now analysing my prediction because I'm aware I'm quite harsh on Chelsea and the evidence is telling me I'm wrong because they keep winning. So my brain's saying, well, you can't go for a Liverpool win because you keep doing it. Chelsea defeats and keep getting it wrong, right? I'm going to be honest, I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool, and I don't really know why. I just don't trust this Chelsea team. I'm not having it. Come the end of the season, I'm either going to be proven correct and they finish 6 or 7, or I'm going to be wrong and they finish in the top 5 and get Champions League football, right? We'll wait and see. I'm trying to remove bias, but I feel like I am. It's just that I feel like Chelsea are getting points that perhaps they don't deserve, really. Manchester City take on Wolves tonight, Friday. I'm recording this Friday, but I'm leaving it till the end because some of you might not be watching this till Saturday, and I don't want the first part being out of date. Big game for Man City, and possibly the team you don't really want to play. You don't want to come up against a side that's won 6 in a row, and everyone's having fun. There's a real feel-good vibe around Wolves. They're away to lose their star player in Cunha to Man United, and it's like party time, you know. I can't remember what the banner said. What is it? First win, second, then pints, something like that. Because obviously Pereira is going to Wetherspoons and Wolves after games with the fans. I absolutely love it. I love it totally. It's one of the best feel-good stories to come out of the Premier League this season. But they're coming up against a Manchester City side who have won 5 and 7, so they're not in shabby form themselves. And they are getting the job done right now. Difficult game to call. I'm actually quite looking forward to watching this fixture, to be honest with you, because it's still hugely significant for Man City, for Chelsea, for Aston Villa, for Nottingham Forest. This is a big game. Wolves are going to have a lot of fans tonight, but I think City will just get the job done. I'm going to say Manchester City 2, Wolves 1, but you can take my last 3 predictions with a pinch of salt, really. Monday night, obviously, Nottingham Forest play Crystal Palace, but we'll deal with that on Monday's show, which is the review of the Premier League weekend. We'll discuss it there. Bad result for them against Brentford. Bad result for them. I thought they'd win, to be honest with you, but that's them sitting outside the Champions League spots for the first time all season. And listen, Europa League for Nottingham Forest would be a huge success, but it would be a huge disappointment at the same time. You're allowed to be both, right, by the way. It can be deemed a success and a failure, and I think it's both. In August, Nottingham Forest getting Europa League football would be an incredible achievement. Couldn't see it in a million years. But when you're sitting in the Champions League spots all season, and with 4 games to go, you drop out, that's a disappointment. That's a failure. Anyway, we'll discuss it a little bit more detail on Monday in the review show where we discuss all the action. Hopefully, I've got goals in every single... I've not got a team keeping a clean sheet. I've just realised that. I've got both teams scoring in every single fixture. Hopefully it happens. Football should be fun. Goals are fun. Therefore, when there's more goals, there's more fun. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Don't be shy. Get involved. It's just a bit of fun. No one's going to hold you to... Well, someone might. I won't hold you to these predictions. There's a list of all the fixtures in the description below. Copy it, paste it. Give me your score predictions. Also, Brentford for 8th in European football next season. It could happen mathematically, but realistically, what do you think will happen? Let me know in the comments below. Don't be shy. But before you go, like the video, subscribe to Tartan Geo, and catch up with you soon.